there's a history because I have also done an army officer in Pukar.
It has nothing to do with Top Gun, except for the fact कि उसमें भी aircraft से यहाँ पे भी aircraft से.
I'm not doing fighter
Because it is directed by me.
Yeah.
To be able to give that much of me like you have. Amazing. He still has tears in his eyes.
दुनिया में मिल जाएंगे आशिक कई, पर वतन से हसीन सनम नहीं होता.
Extra determination.
No, of course, I was very excited to work with her.
Say nice things.
And I think everything becomes very easy when two actors come as actors and are focused on interpreting the lines and getting the best out of each scene that's on paper. And with Deepika, that became really, really easy because she brings a lot of realism in her work. And so I was constantly just bouncing off of that, you know. Each line that she says, it is coming from a very, very deep place, and I could tell that this is real. And if I don't maintain that, you know, I might look like I'm overdoing things. So I had to make sure that I'm at that frequency. And thanks to her, I think all the scenes of Minnie and Patty look extremely vulnerable. They look extremely endearing and very, very real. And there's another little thing that helped me a lot. This is when we were shooting for Sher Khul Gaye. And I had obviously put in a lot of effort in, you know, getting the steps right. But when I saw Deepika doing the same step, I was like, this is looking so effortless, man.
Now he's embarrassing.
And then I asked her, and you remember this.
I remember this.
I asked her, Deepika, can you just do your step for me, please? And we are on set, cameras ready. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this until I understand what's going wrong with my step. So I asked her to do the step. I saw what she was doing, and then I copied what her style was.
Sure. Basically, I was doing it so badly that we had no choice that he copies me.
You can't say that because सबने गाना देखा है.
सबने गाना देखा हुआ है और आप भी थे वहाँ पर, आप थे. I asked her to do the step, then because sometimes you know, you get very lost in the technicality of the step, and I was getting lost in the technicality of it. जब मैंने उन्हें देखा, I said, this is looking effortless. I am going to now change the step a little bit and do it the way she does it, and that enhanced my dance as well. So thank you for that again. Thank you.
Very sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, Hrithik was my
One,
student.
I find it very hard to believe because I never trust anything he says. But having said that, no, he did mention this to me when we were.
Not once.
I find
happened
I
three
find it very
times.
hard to believe because I think an actor and a dancer of his caliber to say that, and the acting bit I'm hearing, I think for the first time.
No, I have
You have
mentioned
said
this
it
to you
before.
many
Yes.
times.
I just don't take it seriously. But yes, I think of course, it's always special when you work with someone for the first time. It's also, there's a lot of discovering. You don't know. There's so much expectation. He's probably seen my work. I've seen his work. You always build this expectation in your head about a colleague. And when you go onto set, sometimes it's what you expect, sometimes it's more than what you expect, and sometimes it's just not what you expect. And for me, it's, to some extent, I'd heard about this phenomenon of Hrithik Roshan, but I think I experienced it for the first time. So everything that we've all heard about his craft and honesty and, you know, his process and all of that, it is that and a lot more. And the a lot more is what I've experienced after working with him. I don't think I've come across any actor who is so, like, there's just, he's just only thinking about this all the time. Every line, every every movement, and yet so effortless. And yeah, I think what we were both able to do is just be very honest with each other when the cameras were rolling, and I think it is very, very special when you find an actor, another actor in front of you who can do the same thing, because otherwise sometimes it's a little difficult. And then it makes it fun, it makes it challenging. Then when your director says you want to do one more take, you look forward to it because you never know what is going to come out of it. It's not rehearsed. And that happens often. You work with people because they have a beat and you know exactly this is what, no matter how many times you do it, this is exactly what you're going to get. And then you have actors where you never know what to expect. So in fact, it's really nice to keep trying different things. And most importantly, I feel like I've learned a lot from him. I don't think I've extracted his brain enough. I think there was an opportunity, because I'm very shy, and so I feel like I'll impose if I ask too many questions, but I feel like I had that opportunity.
Nonsense.
And I didn't make the most of it. But here is a person I feel like you can just learn so much from him. And there are moments where I've asked him questions and learned and observed, and I've definitely taken a lot from this as an actor.
There's a lot that I can share.
No, please.
A lot that I can
He's asked me the question.
I want to go first.
Well, I think Deepika is very right when she says that. कि आप ऋतिक के दिमाग में घुसना चाहते हैं. आप, कि यार ये नॉर्मल है. ये इतनी मेहनत कैसे करता है? ये अपने किरदार के लिए, अपने कैरेक्टर के लिए, अपनी फिल्म के लिए, जितनी भी फिल्में की हैं, कौन एक, एंड मैं इतना भी कह सकता हूँ कि आई बीन वेरी फॉर्चुनेट दैट आई वर्कड विद द बेस्ट इन द वर्ल्ड, एंड फॉर मी टू से दैट आई वुड रेट हिम विद ऑल द phenomenal actors I worked with, and sincere, honest, and an actor to the core. Hrithik abhi keh raha tha कि I just love acting, I just love, and I want to use my stardom, which Deepika also said very beautifully. But longevity उसी में है. अगर आप सिर्फ 10-12 साल काम करना चाहते हैं तो वो अलग प्रोसेस है. अगर आप 50 साल काम करना चाहते हैं या मरते दम तक काम करना चाहते हैं तो आपको ऋतिक रोशन बनना पड़ेगा. तो तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मैंने बहुत सारे कोस्टार्स के साथ काम किया, बट इतना जेनरस, इतना गिविंग, इतना ऑनेस्ट मेरे करियर में कोई नहीं आज तक.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's I'm saying it very honestly, and when you see the film also, you will see जो भी मैंने scenes देखे हैं, पूरी फिल्म अब तक जैसे आप लोगों ने देखी है, मैंने भी अब तक देखी नहीं है. मैं भी जितना भी मैंने शूटिंग में देखी और जब मैंने थोड़ा बहुत ADR किया, डबिंग की, you will see, it's a role, very difficult role, very tough role, and he's done it very, very honestly. And I've got this opportunity, so let me speak about Deepika also, if you don't mind.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wasn't a part of the question.
No, but I why some actors and actresses resonate from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, and then somewhere you feel that they cross their country and somewhere they resonate all over the world. कुछ तो बात होती है, ऐसे ही नहीं होता, कि कुछ उनके डेडिकेशन में, उनकी मेहनत, उनका काम, तो ऊपर वाले ने उन्हें खूबसूरती दी है, चेहरा दिया है, आवाज़ दी है, सब कुछ जो उन्होंने दिया है, यूजिंग इट फुलेस्ट, एंड ऑलवेज ट्राइंग टू डू बेटर एंड रेजिंग द बार. एंड ऋतिक ने बिल्कुल सही कहा कि जब उन्हें देखते हैं हम लोग शॉट दे रहे हैं, डायलॉग मैं बोल रहा हूँ, मगर जब वो रिएक्शन जो मिल रहा है मिनिमल, मिनिमल, ज़्यादा नहीं है, और वो ज़्यादा नहीं और वो करेक्ट बैलेंस है, एंड देन स्टिल कन्वेइंग इट, आई थिंक दैट्स व्हाट Deepika is. And I'll to Sid, and it's a pleasure. And जैसे आप पहली बार कर रहे हैं तो आप दोनों के साथ भी मैं पहली बार काम कर रहा हूँ. So I was also discovering, not only as actors but as people, as co-actors. And बिल्कुल सही कहा कि ज़्यादा वक्त नहीं मिला क्योंकि हम अपने काम में, क्योंकि ये इतनी चैलेंजिंग फिल्म थी, इतने चैलेंजिंग रोल्स थे, और जैसे ही कहा कि एयरफोर्स के बारे में और आर्म फोर्सेस के बारे में, नेशन के बारे में, पेट्रियोटिज्म के बारे में, तो आपकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी 10 गुना ज़्यादा हो जाती है. तो आपकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी इतनी होती है कि फिर ये सब वक्त नहीं मिलता है बात करने का, बिकॉज आप चाहते हैं कि यार ये वक्त मिला है तो लेट्स डू आवर बेस्ट. तो जितना वक्त हम लोग वहाँ भी जब तेजपुर में, तो जितने भी ऑफिसर्स थे या प्रेप थे या फैमिली के साथ गुजार रहे थे, तो ज़्यादा वक्त हमको मिला नहीं बात करने का. तो पार्ट टू होपफुली बाय द ग्रेस ऑफ गॉड, ऊपर वाला चाहे तो ज़रूर होगा. तो सिद्ध साहब का ये कहूँगा, ही इज़ डेफिनेटली
मेरा सवाल नहीं था
सिद्धार्थ. मैं मुझे मौका मिला, मैं प्लीज
नहीं सर, वो मुझे फ़ोन पे बोल देना.
नहीं, मैं बोलना चाहूँगा कि ही इज़ इन अ ट्रू सेंस hitting the sweet spot of realism and commercialism, and I think this is definitely going to be a film where I'm sure, obviously it's so much happens when a film releases, but मैं दिल से कह रहा हूँ कि this will be a film where when Sid looks back, यार ये फिल्म की थी मैंने, I feel this is something really special you've done, Sid. I want people to see the film. I want people to see our work and decide. So I don't want to just say too much about it, but I'm really proud, and I've really sincerely been one of my best journeys of my career.
Wow, thank you, sir.
Working this film.
That's amazing.
Thank you so much. And your journey, sir, so very spectacular.
It's a big journey.
ज़्यादा लंबा मत बोलना, अभी.
मैं आगे कुछ नहीं बोलूँगा. Next.
Well, I know you've answered the question, but if I may,
But the question is going to come to you.
So
there must be so many people.
I don't want to say this to them. I want to say this to you.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
So I have worked as an assistant while watching you in many films, my dad's films, and I modeled my process of how to get into the film as an actor by seeing you.
Wow.
And I spent 3-4 years doing that. And I was a very good assistant. In fact, even now, I love shifting between being Sid's actor and Sid's assistant.
He's the best assistant I've had.
I love doing that. But as an assistant, मैं आपको देखता था, I used to learn. And then, of course, whatever happened in the journey, अब फाइटर के सेट पे हम लोग सीन कर रहे थे in the corridor. And I had just seen a few scenes of the film, and I was on set with you. And when you tell somebody, when you compliment somebody about how well they've done in a scene, the common reaction is, "Oh, thank you so much. That's great. I'm so happy. Thank you." But when you win a gold medal at the Olympics, or when you win the Wimbledon, something that you have put your entire life and soul and every cell of yourself has gone into something, and then when you get a compliment, there you feel overwhelmed and you have tears in your eyes. So back to the corridor, I had just seen a few scenes, and I came to you and I told you that एक scene है film में which was written on paper as a very aggressive scene. It was full of aggression and anger. And then I saw what you did. And I told you, you have interpreted this scene in an entirely different emotional way. And what you have done is absolutely taken the film from there to there in that one scene. और जब मैंने ये बात उनसे कही, your eyes welled up. You had tears in your eyes. And I was just watching you aghast. Like, my God, this man must have put so much of himself into that one scene that when he's getting to hear that he did well, he had tears in his eyes. This is after 4 decades of doing what he does. Still to have the power to give that much into a scene. That day, I again turned into an assistant and I just watched him. And I said, he has tears in his eyes. Because he did one chota sa scene tha ek. And for that, he had put in so much that he had tears in his eyes. And I went to Sid and I said this, yeah, Sid.
He still got tears.
To have that kind of, I hope to God that I can maintain that kind of power in me to be able to give that much of me like you have. Amazing. He still has tears in his eyes.
But I think every actor of our generation aspires to be you in the way that you just,
Really.
the commitment and just the way you are every single day. Everyone sees it and everyone aspires to be like that.
Acting schools should have a symbol of you. You should make a symbol.
But that is true. Really.
लगा देना चाहिए ऐसा banner. Symbolic.
So, may I start?
Yes, please. This is your question.
So honestly, like I said, the kind of timing that we had in Pathaan, we were coming out. Even if it wasn't that timing, there is nobody, I think I can speak for all filmmakers in this country, nobody when he's making the film obviously expects it or wants it. But कभी कोई सोच नहीं सकता कि हम वो success attain करेंगे या वो figures attain करेंगे. Nobody can plan for it. You can dream, but there's no planning that can go into it and you can achieve it. So it's a lot of luck, it's a lot of love, a lot of effort obviously. We were all taken by surprise. Everyone. I don't think there's anybody in that team of Pathaan that expected that. And we all hope कि थोड़ा प्यार मिले हमें और हम एक सॉफ्ट एंट्री वापस हिंदी फिल्मों की ला सकें into the hearts of the audience. एक सॉफ्ट एंट्री. And उन्होंने तो दिल ही खोल दिया अपना पूरा हमारे लिए. And that is just the love of the audience and we didn't expect it and I think we take the opportunity to thank the audience for that. And now we are at the cusp of something very, very special again. And we're just hoping, not for the numbers, we're just hoping प्यार मिले, recognition मिले. हमने देश की पिक्चर बनाई है, देसी पिक्चर बनाई है एक. बहुत rooted पिक्चर है ये. Yes, बहुत stylized है, but actually बहुत देसी पिक्चर है ये. एक हिंदी पिक्चर है ये. And it speaks to the lowest common denominator. And everybody, from families to the youth to the masses to the elitists, there'll be something for everybody in this film. And we're just hoping for love. Numbers will follow.
You want to take it?
Yeah. I think I would say thank you for the comparison. And I take it as a compliment when a film that we make here in our country, which is made on a fraction of a budget that they can, primarily because obviously we make it in one language which is just relegated to one country. They make it in English, which can be exploited worldwide. So they have obviously access to great budgets. We make it really at a fraction of a budget, and yet if you're saying we're comparing it to that in terms of its look, I'm very happy. Secondly, when you say trailer देख के आपको लगा, I don't think वो right analogy है क्योंकि trailer देख के आपको पता चल गया होगा it has nothing to do with Top Gun except for the fact कि उसमें भी aircrafts हैं, यहाँ पे भी aircrafts हैं. वैसे तो War and Pathaan भी same है, उसमें भी car chase, bike chase सब same था, वो spy था, वो same लगेगा आपको. But the similarity ends at those planes. Like I said, ये एक हिंदी picture है और as we all know now by the trailer, it is inspired by a true incident that happened in 2019 with our armed forces. And that is an incident that obviously I'm sure has angered all of you all as much as it did to us. And it was a trigger for us to make a film and talk about the might and the stand that our country took and the might of the forces and what they did and retaliated with. It's somewhere loosely based on that, obviously. And I think if anyone has seen Top Gun knows that that was nothing to do with Top Gun. So the similarity ends there. And as far as the character goes of being a rebel or Shamsher Pathania being that, Shamsher Pathania is a character that I think is a very brave decision by Hrithik to do, because it is something unlike he's ever done. Ever done. He's never played a character like that who is so real. The cockiness is very real. It's not larger than life. Kabir or matter of the fact Rajveer from Bang Bang are so different, are so cinematically larger than life. Patty is someone who could be sitting amongst us, and I'm sure there are a lot of cocky people with how they are, not with us, but I'm sure with their friends they are. So yeah, so he's like one of you guys. He's a common man, but yet obviously what he does is so larger than life. He sits in a machine that's worth 8,000 crores and can fly at that speeds and risk his life every time he sits in that cockpit. That arrogance you will have if you did that, and that is what Patty has, and that is what I think any character, whether you are in an English film or in a Chinese film, you will have that cockiness or the arrogance because of the things that you ride on every day. You risk your life every day. When you take off, you don't know if you land. The mantra is within the forces when you went there is that the CEO that is played by Anil sir, he's a commanding officer, tells his boys, take off is an option, landing is mandatory. You have to land back, come back alive. So imagine what lives they live here. How can Patty not have that chip on his shoulder? And that is something that is similar with any pilot worldwide. So that's the only common link I would say.
Also, in my view, they are not the same at all. Because in Top Gun, he's a rebel without a cause. That's just his character. Patty, his arrogance is a force field. He doesn't allow people in because he's going through something. There is a backstory which you discover in the film. So actually he is not arrogant, he's not a rebel. He is protecting his inner feelings that he doesn't want to expose to people. And that is what ignites the scenes between Minnie, Patty.
I'm not saying
his
that for a
friends.
reason, that we want you to discover it.
Yeah,
but you've
correct.
given a glimpse of it. Okay, yeah, that ends there. Discover the film, man. 2 दिन में आ रही है.
Well, I'd like to just correct that. In this film, which is what Sid was saying, it took time for me to be convinced about Patty, because Patty is not larger than life. The film is larger than life. I, up until then, was doing these characters which had this emotional arc which was larger than life. But I understood that what Sid is trying to achieve, he's breaking his own mold and constructing a hero, taking aspects of me as a person, finding them and putting them together and saying, hey, this is what I want from you as a human, from that human. I've extracted these bits and this is my character. He's not larger than life. He's not Kabir. He's not Pathan. He is just a guy. Yeah, so you were saying? Of course. Why would anyone not hope and dream of the scope of our films being as wide as possible? To say good stories. I have done many such films where box office was not in the calculation at all. It was just something that hits your heart. And if I find a script that hits my heart, like a Super 30, Kabul, Guzarish, if something hits me, because I'm a slave to my instinct. As actors, we need to be slaves to our instinct. There's no mathematics in that.
I think he's been such a brave actor. I would interject there, sorry. I mean, someone like him doing, I don't know if I've told you, like a film like Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. I think to do a 3-hero film and a film that on paper it's such a slice of life film. So he's never chased box office. So I think. So I'm coming to that. So I think he's very instinctive that way. I think a good story, if it comes his way and it touches him, he doesn't think of box office.
If it doesn't happen, it'll be sad. Because that means we are only sitting as not as artists, but as mathematicians and calculating कि इससे इतना आएगा, let's do this.
वो
let's
कभी
do
होता
that.
नहीं है, वो कभी नहीं होता.
Artists can't do that. Artists
अभी-
have to follow the heart.
अभी हम जिंदा हैं.
So obviously, as you know, that this film is in alliance with the Indian Air Force, and there are a lot of stunts the chopper has done, and bits of it. I think if you see the trailer again, you'll see some stunts of it, and we can't really disclose much about the maneuvers and stuff. So if this was Pathan or War, I think we would have spoken tons about it. But this is. We'll allow you also one more question in 5 minutes. Done.
Yeah, sure.
But it's actually interesting. I think the response is interesting because usually you would have an actor say or a director say this sequence, this. But the fact that we're actually bound by confidentiality in a way because it is so close to reality
Yeah.
is, I think, what makes it really exciting.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully, the uniform has some magic here. Every time it reminded me, there are 3 uniforms I've worn, not uniforms, all of them, but like Krish had a cape, a costume. When I wore that, I felt strong. In Laksh, when I used to wear the uniform, it gave me strength. And in Fighter, when I wore the uniform, in a second, you feel the responsibility, you feel the weight, you feel the strength. So uniform से जो ताकत जो मिलती है ना, that is very difficult to replicate. It is something that is surreal. It works, but it's true. You actually feel the power when you wear that uniform.
The specific moment is actually when you zip it up.
Yeah. Oh.
Wear it, and when you zip it up, that feeling is.
और मैंने जब पहली बार देखी थी तो मैंने सिड को बोला, "Are you sure you want to take me?"
वो भी एक कहानी है.
वो भी एक-
क्या होता है ना, the uniform is such, it's an overall,
So one.
and any.
It's a one piece.
I have to say it. कि एक जो overall जो है इतना fitted है कि if you have 1 ounce of a curve कहीं पर वो highlight हो जाता है.
Man.
So you have to fit
It was
into
so
it
difficult.
seamlessly and look like that. And Anil sir saw it and got a little overwhelmed seeing it.
मैंने बोला, "अभी घर का खाना बंद करो." ये जो खाते हैं हम.
And he said मुझे 2 हफ्ते दे before I do the costume trial. And
तो
when he
मैंने-
came 2 weeks later,
मैंने इसके 3 कॉस्ट्यूम ट्रायल किए, फिर भी मैंने then I kept on and I looked, I think, perfectly for the uniform, I think towards the last shoot.
And it's a strange feeling, man.
always happens.
Because it's a one piece. So you put your hands up, the waist comes here, your crotch comes here. It's like how do I get the perfect fit?
But still, you feel extremely
Yeah, it's amazing.
that feeling of pride.
No, but you have to be really fit for it.
yeah, it will be really fit. I mean, hats off to all the warriors, air warriors. Yeah, really.
Yeah. You tell me.
You're an air warrior now, bro.
Negligent enough.
At home.
It depends on every, here it was first the physicality and then I internalized it. There are certain roles which you first internalize and then and then you externalize. So it depends. For Animal, it was more internal than the external part of it because I was playing my age. There are, like I was just, so for this it was first the how do I look, the part, the walk, the way I speak, and then I did all the research I could do for the character. And speaking to the officers, watching, I think every video or every piece of information I could have of all the officers and generals from all over the world, and watching them, the way they speak. And of course, I always, there's a history because I have also done an army officer in Pokar, which was a very exciting journey. But there was one film which I always I kept on watching, and I keep on watching since last almost over 50 years. And if you all get a chance, you all must go on YouTube and just watch the film and the actor in it. It was George C. Scott who did Patton. And the film's name was Patton. And that film has always been my inspiration. I just loved the film. It was the first film which Francis Ford Coppola wrote the screenplay, and he won the Oscar for that. And that was the turning point of his career in a way. And when I was doing my acting course, the first character improvisation I did was also based on Patton. Because there's a book also, so I read the book and I kept on seeing the film, and again I revisited Patton again. And because you see, this role is, you have to get first the physicality, the external things, and then go deep into it. So every film, every character has different process. For a night manager, obviously I'm playing the worst man in the world. I've never met a worst man in the world. So how do I do it? What do I do? I can't observe anybody, because there's nobody the worst man in the world. So you then, to a certain extent, of course, I have to be honest, the original itself was brilliant. You already did the role. He was brilliant in it, absolutely fantastic in it.
नहीं झूठ बोल रहे हो, क्या बोल रहे हो सच्ची?
नहीं बिल्कुल नहीं.
So basically I'll tell you, obviously I've read that, and I think my 2 bits in that is that like I said, it's based on a true incident, and we've also depicted what actually happened in the incident. So it's out there, in public domain, so there's nothing new we've done, and some things that you're talking about that may have offended them, I would just want them, forget anybody else, I would want them to see the film and see the context in which what has happened and what has been said, and then react. This is out of context. In a trailer you put lines. If I play out the whole film like a story to you, then why will you come to the theatre? So I will raise some questions and sparks, so that to answer that you'll come into the theatre. That's what this has done. It has serviced exactly that motive. And I'm actually in a way happy it's done that, and it's made them and people inquisitive. So come to the theatre, it'll answer all your questions, you'll understand the context of it and the emotion behind it, and you'll be satisfied. Everyone will understand what we are saying. The primary thing I want to reiterate is that, and what has been said in the film, is that our war is not against a country, it's against terrorism. And that is what Fighter stands for. It's a fight against terrorism, not against a particular country. And that is emphasized throughout the film. So come and see it and you'll get it. Piku too.
The space is there, the writers have to write. And I think that, I think it'll happen. I just think it's a matter of time. I think what happened is, post-COVID, I think everyone felt a bit rattled, right? Because it was a new experience that everyone was coming out of. We've never experienced a pandemic. And I feel like pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, so once you come out of a pandemic, I think we made a lot of assumptions about where we're headed. Have things evolved? Yes, they have evolved. But I think we're jumping to conclusions very soon too soon in this journey about what's working, what's not working, only big budget films. I feel like at the end of the day, actors service a script, service a director. And like I always say, I think you need to be true to the process. I'm not doing Fighter because it's what is the budget of the movie?
Because it is directed by me.
Yeah. I think you invest in stories, you invest in characters, you invest in people, you invest in the journey. Now, if that happens to be a 50 crore budget movie or a 25 crore, I'm more than happy to do that. And I've demonstrated by doing that pre-pandemic. In fact, even post-pandemic, Gehraiyaan was one of them. So I'm always open. I've always been that actor. In fact, way before I've done films like they didn't do well, and so we don't remember them.
Finding Fanny also, no?
I've done Finding Fanny. I've done Chapak. I've done Khele Hum Ji Jaan Se. So there are a lot of these movies that I've always been lots of these movies. So as an actor, for me personally, I'm most excited about telling stories, investing in characters. Now, whether that happens to be a 500 crore budget film or a 50 crore, I've never looked at that. I'm interested in telling a story. I didn't know he was that intelligent.
In Basra scene ho.
Yeah. I was like, oh, he's talented, intelligent.
काम आता है इसको.
I've seen Sid. I've seen Sid as an assistant. Yeah, I remember. I remember him being. He's actually a rebel. As an assistant, he was.
That's so true.
Yeah,
Say nice things.
he's a rebel,
Say nice things.
rebel.
I've said nice things about you all.
That's what I saw in him as an assistant, and I really didn't think much of him, to be honest, on the set. We used to be working, and he used to be playing the piano. We were shooting in a church, so he's playing the piano. Now I know. Since then, he's been finding his tunes for his film. He used to be stuck on the piano.
Dun, da, da, dun.
Then I saw him give a speech at, I can't remember where it
Ficky.
was. Huh?
Ficky.
Saw him give a speech and I said, eh? Because he gave a damn good speech. I said, hey, that's interesting. Then of course, he came with Bang Bang. And, well, that's history. But what I see in Sid is an incredible, what shall I say? He's definitely a fighter. He has done so much. His preparedness about Hindi cinema and cinema over the globe, his information, his knowledge, his ammunition is so good because knowledge is your ammunition, information. He's so clued in with our spectrum, our journey, our history of Indian cinema. He knows that so well. Every song, every movie, he's watched everything. So that is his tank. He's got all the information. So for reference points, he can go to so many places. So that is one. The other is that he is stubborn. Like I think we all are. When he wants something, I can't tell you, it's almost borderline funny because he's so angry, but he's looking so cute. So he's like a mixed breed. He's a mixed breed between like an Alsatian and a Pomeranian.
No, this will travel.
So he's got aggression because he wants it to go right. And on set, that's why I always say he needs a non-reflective human being. Which he has on each set. He has some non-reflective human beings, assistants, who just let his aggression just pass because what they are seeing is a cute Pomeranian being angry. What I'm trying to say is that he is stubborn. He will not stop till the last moment to fix, to get things right, to be perfect. You think I'm a perfectionist? Meet Sid Anand. Not at all.
Trust me. Trust me. It's not easy, first of all, to convince them because it also, honestly, it stems from confidence that they have. They're confident of themselves. They are confident of their appearance.
Yeah.
About how good looking they are.
The most,
Look at them.
the most underconfident.
Just look at them.
Are being labeled
I mean,
confident.
इनको कुछ
Great,
बोलने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ती मेरे को. I think, like I've said in my other interviews, that you just look at these cameras now, just see how gorgeous they're looking.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't need to do anything. I mean, just roll it at 48 frames and make them walk and see how, and just put great music.
No, but the truth is that I think we both, if I can speak for both of us, I think you can trust Sid
Yeah.
with stuff like that. You can trust him.
No, but also they work very hard. Honestly, I mean, jokes apart, it's not easy to look like this. I think they put in a lot of effort, and the one word that I would actually use is sacrifice. And there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into looking like this, and they're relentless. They know कि अच्छा ये क्या चाहिए, अच्छा ये पहनना है ओवरऑल, ये बीच पे जाना है, ये कपड़े पहनने हैं डांस करने के लिए. यार, look at them. It is like they're like rock. They're like, I mean, they're sculpted. So, and that is
Only for you, Sid. Only
it's
for
a lot of effort that goes into it,
I'll
and
correct
both
him
of
there.
them,
I'll
both of
correct him
them.
there. It's not about the size, but it's about
Size मैंने कब बोला? मैंने fitness बोला है.
fitness. It's the reverse. It's because you trust that he has the right sensibility and that it's going to be presented in the right way is why then actors like us will make the effort or even allow for that conversation to even happen. You trust the director, you trust his aesthetic sense, you trust that it will be presented in the right way.
Well, I have said this repeatedly and I'll say it again because I will not tire. I think the chemistry works when two actors are coming in as actors and bringing realism to the dialogues, because sometimes the dialogues can sound like dialogues, you know, but when I work with her, her interpretation and her expression of each dialogue is so real that it pushes me to be even more real. So I have been constantly bouncing off of her in the scenes between Patty and Minnie, and I think that is what is going to create the chemistry that I hope that you discover.
Yeah, sure. Wait for Shakti Shetty, I guess.
सिंघम से टाइटल रोल है इनका.
It's on its way.
I'll just check with Rohit sir and get back to you. You never anyway do anything alone. You know, you're always so. I just feel like this whole male-female conversation, I don't think women can succeed without men. And I don't think men can succeed without women. So it's not, I think we need to rephrase the definition of feminism.
Correct.
I think I would call it more nationalistic than jingoistic, this film. And obviously there are certain things that are being viewed out of context, and I'm at the cost of being repetitive, I would say that watch the film and you'll understand it. And jingoism is something that, I mean, is somewhere a matter of perspective. I call it nationalistic. These lines, actually, when you see it in the context of the film, is being told to a terrorist that don't keep pushing us. Without revealing much, is like I say, I think you just watch the film. This can unnecessarily spur a lot more controversy, which I don't think this film's goal is. This film is a happy Indian film. It's a Bharati picture, hai, and I would not want it to get any other kind of attention other than the fact that it's a patriotic film. So watch it with that context.
I think Deepika said, I think I just love the answer which she gave, and that's what I always believe in, that how do you use that to do better films, and some films which you believe in, or good films, good stories, it makes it much easier, and that's what even Sid has done with, I feel he's, it was a big, yeah, that he had these successes, so he could make Fighter the way he wanted it. Otherwise, it would be very difficult for any other filmmaker to make this film, because it's real, it's authentic, it's nationalistic, and something which Indian audiences have never seen. तो उसके लिए क्या होता है कि कभी आपको ये सक्सेस मिलता है एक फिल्म मेकर की तरह, एक कलाकार की तरह, then how you use it, not only professionally, but in terms of many other ways, you know, where to a certain extent, agar I can speak about, I would love to share my, you know, how I'm, you know, I'm what I am for so many years. How do I look the way I look? What is my fitness? Deepika has been, talking about mental illness, and it's And I think it has reached out to many people who would be so shy to speak about it. And she's gone all out to speak about it. So you need, so that's what it is. There are so many of the actors who do that, and how do you use that stardom? And that's what we do for films, for stories, for personally, nationally. And like I had the opportunity of traveling all over the world, and when I was doing all these films, and they were successful films, and I met all the filmmakers, directors, executives, studio heads. The only thing I spoke was about India and how there's so much of talent. I discussed all the filmmakers, all the actors. I said, "तुम लोग मुझे अच्छा बोल रहे हो? I am a good actor. There are thousands of actors better than me in India," and that's what you do. So when you get that opportunity, get that platform, you go and speak. About actors, about filmmakers, about so many other things. I mean, come and visit Rajasthan. Kerala, Kerala dekho. Look at us country here. So we just do that. We get that opportunity. People take us seriously. So that's what we do. यार तुम यहाँ वहाँ क्यों जा रहे हो, पूरे दुनिया में ट्रैवल कर रहे हो? हमारे हिंदुस्तान में सब कुछ है, and that's what you do. And people, when we speak, थोड़ा सा seriously लेते हैं हम, नहीं? सुनते हैं, हाँ, yeah. You ask me? Yeah. Then of course, yeah, absolutely, yeah. I think the scene has to challenge you, the role has to challenge you, the lines have to challenge you, and the more you feel anxious, and the more you work hard and harder, and that's what and I think a true person who wants to do his best will never find that person. You can be confident but never overconfident, but always trying to raise the bar. That's what we are, and that's what we try to do, and because we love what we do, so and we are enjoy it, have fun with it, and so every day on the set or every day preparing for it is the best years of your life, and matter of fact, I think usse better kya ho sakta hai, that you are in a profession which you are that you love, and in that profession you get so much of love. You get to travel, you get to meet such beautiful people, interact with them, and I am what I am, given a good life, and I'm sure I can ask my children, my family, and my friends. So I try to use that. Isse better kya ho sakta hai, and am I right?
Absolutely. Okay, yeah. To add to that. No, I'll just add to that. I think the first effort really is to how to interpret the lines that are in front of you, and to find out how you would say those lines. So you have to bring your humanness, your experiences, and kind of like find that merge where those lines can become you. So that's, I think, the first effort that we all go through. Secondly, you always have a vision of how you want that character to look. You know where he's starting, you know where he's going, so it's really important where that scene is going to come, so that you can see where in that scene you can enhance the qualities and the characteristics of the character, because you're still painting. It's in the process of being painted. By the end of the film, you finally see what that character was finally about. So this is the time you get to keep finding moments within the scene where you can do something to enhance a quality about that character which is not in the scene. But as an actor, it's your job to kind of like keep inserting moments and gestures and some nuances that will make you understand what that person is about behind the lines. So all of that is actually very, I'm very afraid when I'm reading a scene, because that's something that is unpredictable. It is something you're always searching for, and that search never stops, not until the director says cut and he's got that shot. Us shot ki kahani khatam, ab next shot. So it just goes on and on and on, and that's the life. That's just the life.
एंड ऑलवेज फियर है कि सिद्धार्थ को अच्छा लगेगा कि नहीं वो भी तो डर होता है
डर